Okay, time for our 30-second board segment where we count down hot topics in the sport. It's New Year's. Everyone has their New Year's resolution, so we're going to theme it around that, Daniel. Let's come up with some New Year's wishes and resolutions for riders in this sport. We're just having some fun here. We're going to start out with Adam Cianciarulo. What comes to mind when you think of what AC would be wishing for in the year 2023?
A solid season, 31 rounds complete. I mean, I think that's what he has to be wishing for this season. He's had a couple bad years with the injuries. He hasn't been able to fully be himself, and I'm right there with him. And we've heard the rumors, but they're just rumors. So I'm hoping that those rumors are not as accurate as we've heard. He comes into this season strong enough to put down 31 races. I know that's what he wants, and that's what I want for him as well.
Those pesky YouTube insiders saying that he's not 100% coming into the season. I hope he proves those guys wrong, whoever they might be. I'll agree with you. Yes, I think for Cianciarulo, the goal is just make it to the races and then figure out the results later. Dylan Ferrandis, what do you think when you hear about him?
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I am very high on him for some reason. I don't know why. He had a terrible Supercross season. He didn't get to defend his outdoor title, which was just unfortunate for him. But I'm super high on Dylan, and I think he is too. So I would say a New Year's wish for Dylan, same as Adam, do the 31 rounds, but get back to championship form outdoors and get that win indoors. Don't forget, he's a two-time 250 Supercross champion, and he has yet to win a 450 Supercross main. So I'm guaranteed, his wishes are win a 450 Supercross and get that title back this summer. That's his wishes.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd just be wishing for better starts. It really has held him back in his first two 450 Supercross seasons. He's got more time to work outdoors, and he's made that work, but he needs to start up front. Let's see what he can actually do, and he's got that all-new bike that I know he likes a lot better with the Yamaha. Let's move to Cooper Webb. What would be his wish in your mind?
Champion. That's it. There's nothing short of being a champion that would be okay for him and for his team and for all of his fans. Cooper Webb has won this championship twice, so I don't think having an okay season is something that he'd be happy with. He needs to win this title. He's done it twice. He can do it again. That's his wishes. And I think for everybody in the field, they should be a little bit concerned about what they're going to get out of Cooper Webb this year, because I watched the preview show yesterday, Jason, and I don't know. For some reason, it gave me faith again that Cooper Webb can win this title. If he's fast in the whoops, if he's comfortable on the bike, he could do it. But nothing short of a championship is okay for Cooper Webb.
Hey, the sport's always better to have a Cooper Webb in there, kind of stirring it up, playing the mind games. He likes to play that villain role a little bit against the other riders. You like to have that dynamic, so hopefully we get it back, because we didn't really see it much last year. Next on our list, Malcolm Stewart. What's his wish?
First Supercross win. That's it. Just like Webb, there's nothing short of a championship. For Malcolm, the next stage in his career is to win a main event. That's his New Year's wish. It's my New Year's wish as well. I think the entire fan base, the entire industry is on board. But Jason, there is nothing that could be better for Malcolm Stewart, not only for him and his family and his brother. And I just think that the whole thing becomes complete if Malcolm gets that one win. And then who knows, maybe he's off to the races.
Oh, you imagine if he wins Anaheim 1, how hyped everyone would be for the next 7 days. Awesome. Let's go to Ken Roczen, probably the most talked about rider this offseason. What's running through his mind?
Well, if we're going on the theme of the New Year's wish, I think he already got it. He went through an interesting offseason. There was a lot of dynamics at play, but at the end of the day, he found a home. He's comfortable. He said that multiple times, and he's coming into a race where he's been maybe the most successful of anyone in this field, period. So I think he already got his New Year wish. There's some stability for him in 2023, but on the racetrack, I think a solid season chasing the championship would be really good for him. I think everyone would agree with that. And ultimately to win the title. I still think it would be one of the greatest stories in sports, period, if Ken Roczen can come back from the injuries that he had and be a champion indoors, not just outdoors. He's done that before, but to win the Supercross championship, I think it would complete one of the most incredible sports stories, period.
Oh, yeah. If he did it on the Suzuki, especially, that would be unbelievable. Next rider on the list is Jett Lawrence, but it's more selfishly our wish than his. I think, Daniel, everyone's wishing, come on, just try a 450 in one of these Supercrosses. We want to see it.
Well, Lars, I think a couple weeks ago, deflated me a little bit. But look, I'm going to say this. I still think there's a chance he does race the 450. Instead of coming out and confirming it early in the year, yep, we're going to do it, and then maybe backtracking, it's probably safer to say, no, we're shelving that. We're not going to do that, and then let him roll in. So I'm still staring at the Daytona date. And whether they say they're not doing it, whatever, I still think it's going to happen, and everyone will get their wish, and we'll see Jett Lawrence on a 450 this year in Supercross.
Ooh. I like that Daytona angle, right? Because we know he's going to be on a 450 for the outdoor season. So why not have the track that's a little more outdoor than a typical Supercross? Get your legs underneath you on the big bike. That would be exciting. But nothing's more exciting than what we got going right now. We're going to Anaheim. We'll try to give you our briefest possible preview. We'll talk 250 class first. We pretty much now know what coast everyone's racing. Jett is on the west, and I think we've got it nailed down with everyone else. So Austin Forkner, Cameron McAdoo, for example, they already declared pro circuit. This should be interesting.
Yeah, we don't usually know coming in like 4 days before the race who's racing. And I hate that part of this. Every year we're always wondering, then press day rolls out and we're like, oh, he's racing. But for the first time and maybe forever, we know who all the favorites are coming into the 250 championship. And it's going to be great to see Jett Lawrence chase his 4th straight championship on a 250 with a bunch of riders that have a point to prove. And obviously, as we've said before in episodes earlier, don't seem to be afraid of him. They're squared up. They're ready for Anaheim 1, and they're going after the three-time defending champ in this sport.
Yeah, you made the point. Forkner, McAdoo, RJ Hampshire all got wins against Jett at some point last year, and they're all slated to race west against him. They are not intimidated. It should be fun, and hopefully not just the Jett show, but a dynamic field. And in the 450 class, we said it at the top of the show, there are 13 factory riders that all expect to do well. And here's the craziest part, Daniel. You look back at Anaheim 1 history. Eli Tomac's never won round 1. Ricky Carmichael never won round 1. Ryan Dungey never won round 1. Cooper Webb has never won round 1. There's always something weird and unexpected about the opener, and it doesn't always predict the season.
There's that old saying, right? Like, you can't win the championship at round 1, but you could lose it. It's almost becoming a guarantee that if you win round 1, you won't win the championship. So if these guys start figuring out that that's a reality, watch the leader just like in the last corner, let someone by. Here, I'll give up the 3 points, but I'm not falling into this thing where I win round 1 because I won't win the title. So obviously I'm just being playful with that. But yeah, round 1 is so much fun. We feel like we learn a little bit, but we don't learn everything until we get through the month of January. And that's what makes it so special. It's just throw mud at the wall, see what sticks. And that's why A1 is the best.
Yeah. And I want to ask you one thing. You mentioned that racer's mentality that you have, even at the top of the show, you're getting nervous. Is that why round 1 ends up being so different than the rest of the year? Because of the nerves? Because it's a different level than any other race?
Well, if you look at the riders who have been successful in the past, Ken Roczen's won the opener 4 times. Barcia won 3 in a row. There are certain riders that don't feed into that, and they come out with a point to prove, and they don't care if it's round 1. They don't care if the bike's not perfect at the opener. They just go for it, and those guys are always successful. The ones that are thinking big picture, that don't want to mess up, they're trying to be a little bit more careful. They're the ones that sometimes struggle at the opening round, but then by the end of January, they're on fire and on the way to their title. So you're right. Tomac, Webb, 2 guys that are never great at the opener. They've won the last 4 championships, and the guys that have been the most successful at the opener have not. So I think it is a mentality thing. It's just the way you approach the race. And lucky for us, I think there's 6 or 7 guys right now that don't care about the title, at least on January 7th. They just want to win the race, and those are the guys that will probably be the most successful.
That's why I hype this up, because we're all excited for round 1. But don't worry, round 2 and 3 are just as exciting, because even after round 1, we still won't know what we're dealing with.